Feeling a bit nervous without Chris, actually. So there we go. Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 088 of the WA Running Podcast as we record on Monday, the 18th of August, 2025. This week, we don't have Chris for the next 3 weeks, so we've got some relief guest hosts tonight. I will give them an intro just in a sec. But in this week's episode, we recap one of the biggest races in the WA running calendar, the 5th edition of Transcend, where we find out whether or not Team Warp finished the race or whether they DNF'd due to my inability to swim through a raging river. We also cover the WA Marathon Club's Cyril Norman Run down at Lake Gwelup, as well as whether or not we'll find some results in the Christmas Island Marathon. And finally, we recap the episode with some legendary and suspicious behaviour in this week's Weapons of Warp. Across my screen is not Chris Shaw, but someone who I believe a couple of months ago said that she had a toilet running story, and I don't know if she remembers that or whether or not she'll reveal that over the next couple of weeks. She's on the other side of the country, or not in the country, the other side of the world in the UK. She's no Jake Smith, but I don't think Jake Smith has ever run a backyard ultra, podiumed a backyard ultra, or won a 50k race on sand. So I think we've got the better guests here on this podcast. Vici, the Sand Queen Richardson, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thanks, Simon. Thanks for having me back again.
Past the probation back in May. We've got you back for the next couple of weeks, hopefully. How's it all been?
Yeah, good. I'm not sure about that toilet story. I'd forgotten about that. You have reminded me.
That's okay. We've got a couple of weeks to refresh the memory.
Yeah. Maybe we'll build up to it. Keep everyone in suspense, so we might get a few more listeners over the next few weeks.
Sounds good. And then on the other side of my screen is someone that's sort of come in as our third host for tonight. He's part of the Wolves Run Club. He's training for Sydney. I saw his last Strava run yesterday as part of the Wolves Run Long Run, and it looks like he's excited for taper time. Curtis McEntee, welcome to the WA Running Podcast.
Thanks for having me, Simon. Pleasure to be here.
How's the training been going? So, is this your first marathon or is it?
No, some of the guys will have you believe that, but I have run marathon before. This will actually be my third. So I ran the Perth Marathon before it became Perth Run Fest, and I then ran Sydney in 2023.
Oh, the hot year.
Yeah, so that was not a fun one. But yeah, no, training's going really good. Really, really excited with where we're at, and just excited to get over there.
So, all right. So this will be your third one. So what were the first two marathons? So what were the times for the first and the second?
Well, the first one I ran, I think I'd only been running for maybe 8 months. So that was just a run to finish. I think I ran 4:24. I ran 4:24. And then Sydney was the hot year, so kind of lowered my expectations before the race, just decided to try and go for sub 4, and I agonisingly missed. I ran 4 hours and 53.
Seconds?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
I missed by.
Rough.
So I feel your pain. I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
But I've got big goals for Sydney, so hoping to kind of smash that.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's get straight into your training week. So this is the last week before taper time. So, how was your runs this week, and did you have any key sessions? The last week before taper time.
Yeah. So I actually had my biggest ever week last week. So I just do a VO2 max on a Tuesday, and I do a threshold on a Friday, and then an easy long run.
Yeah.
So my big session this week was my Friday session, which was awesome. That was 10 times a minute on with 45 seconds off.
Yep.
With a 2-minute jog, and then into 2 times 8K threshold.
Oof. Nice.
Yeah, it's big. It's always one of those ones when you see it in the plan, you're like, I'd 2 times 8K. I don't know if I can do that.
Yep.
But then when you do get through it, it's like awesome. So I think I averaged 4:26s for the 8Ks.
Yep.
Strava actually gave me a half marathon PB for that session, so I think that's a good sign.
Confidence booster. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is Strava predicting in terms of the marathon?
This has been big topic of conversation in the group chat.
Yeah.
It actually says 3:28 at the moment.
Wow. And is that going to be your A goal or
pretty much, yeah. 3:30
nice.
is the goal. So
beautiful.
So that's good. And it's funny, like all my various analytics are all pointing towards a similar time. So yeah, that you'd never know until you really start doing it, do you? So
true. Yeah, that's true.
I've never ran a marathon in anger before. You know, I've never really put it on the line.
Yep.
Or like really gone out at a pace that has been really like, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. I'm really ready to go.
Beautiful. So, I mean, you know, you're not a sandbagger from the sounds of things. So 3:28 is, you know, your A goal. But if you were a sandbagger, what would you be content with? If I suppose you like me, right?
Yeah, anything below 4 would be amazing. You know, we as a club we were just at Bibra Lake Marathon, and I was trying to say to the guys like sub 4 is a huge goal. I think it's hugely underestimated as a goal. And so I would be stoked to get anything under that, and if not, just have a good time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with so many of the Wolves guys heading on down to Sydney, it's going to be a massive party. All right, well, let's get, you know, in terms of some questions, let's get back to the start. So how did you get into running and how did you become involved with Wolves Run Club?
Yeah, so for me, getting into running, I was just, I've heard a lot of people tell similar stories on the pod. Like, we had our first child in 2020 and I basically just wanted to be a fit dad. And so I tried a few different things, but fell into running, and I actually joined Strava, and one of my friends popped up and said, "Oh, I saw, you know, you get the notification such and such has joined Strava," and they said, "Oh," and that put Mark. I'll give him a shout out, Mark Smith. He was just super encouraging, and like I really enjoyed that, and I found the community on Strava and in running to be really supportive, and it just I really fell in love with it. And then so I mentioned that I ran in Sydney in 2023. And that's actually where I first met Keith, who heads up the Wolves. And so I know him we have a mutual friend. And so I met him very briefly at the finish line, asked him what his finish time was. He asked me what mine was. We said good job, and that was it. But then I think it was a few months later, he moved back to Perth, and he said, and he just hit me up, and he just said, "Hey, should we go for a run?" That run was a hill session at Wireless Hill, which he absolutely blitzed me on. And then from there, he kind of had he was telling me about his idea for starting this run club, and it was going to have a mental health focus, and how he wanted it to be he wanted it to be a club where, you know, we all know each other, we're all friends. If you see each other in the supermarket, you stop and say hello. You know, it's not just a fleeting thing on a Saturday morning. And then I think we've spoken every day since that day. You know, it's kind of gone from there. So
multiple times a day.
Multiple times a day.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Rumor has it that the WhatsApp group gets not so much spicy, but just the sheer volume of messages in that group chat. So, what sort of stats are we looking at in terms of messages per day if one were to partake in the Wolves Run Club?
I must admit, I am one of the main offenders. At first, it started, I think, out of we were really trying to foster a really positive environment, and we wanted to encourage people to be talking, and it just kind of, I just never turned it down. It just kind of kept going. But yeah, that is we joke about it, and the group chat does go up, but that is meant to be a part of the club. Is that people put all kinds of stuff in the chat. Some of it's appropriate, some of it's not. Had someone just asking about real estate just before, but it's just a play. It's an outlet for people to just blow off some steam, have a laugh, and if you have a proper job, you probably just mute it and you crack on with your day and open the 200 notifications when you probably don't read them, but yeah, I think for other people it is a really nice kind of support thing,
Yeah, no, awesome. I mean, if it makes you feel any better, the chat that I'm involved in, we had, I think, 283 messages today. So I don't know if that's Wolves Run Club type numbers, but yeah.
Well, we actually have two. We have two chats as well. So
oh shit,
there's the club chat, but then there's also like a committee chat.
Okay.
So today I must have had, I don't know, hundreds of messages.
Okay. Fair enough. Oh, guys, get a job. All right. So in terms of Sydney in 2 weeks' time, now will be the time where the paranoia kicks in, where you're checking the weather forecasts and probably the prediction model every day between now and then. In terms of the kit, have you got that sorted in terms of what you're wearing, what shoes you're going to wear, that sort of stuff?
Oh, you just reminded me, my new Alpha Flies have arrived in the post today. I haven't looked at those yet.
So they're the shoe of choice?
Yeah, I did buy the Puma Fast R3s, and I have been loving those. They are really awesome shoe. But then I saw the Alphas on sale, and I was like, oh, well, I have to get them now. So I will probably run in the Alphas, and then my Wolf singlet. And I was trying to find some tights, like running tights, but they're very expensive. I didn't really want to. All the ones I was looking at, I thought, nah, so I'm just go my regular shorts, and I don't really think too much about that stuff. Like I'm not really super nerdy on that. But.
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, you've got 2 weeks to think about the kit, so find some half tights. Sounds good, man. That's pretty exciting. All right, what about yourself, Vici? So I've been seeing probably for the last couple of months a general rise in Ks, a general rise in hill sessions here and there. How's your training? Been up to date since HBF, so from May onwards. And how are you tracking in the lead up to Sydney?
So it was going great. And there was definitely a rise, a big rise in hills, physically and metaphorically speaking. And I'd got like an elevation goal and I was tracking really well, and I'd probably banked. Actually, Dan Bowridge reached out to me and was like, 500k plus weeks in a row. You're doing all right. And then I flew to the UK, which I'm sure we'll get onto, a few weeks ago, and I had a good week. Continued with all my runs, ticked them all off. I was getting a bit exhausted, and I felt I probably should have pulled the pin on my last Saturday session. So not Saturday, just gone Saturday before. I probably should have pulled the pin on it. One set short of what I did. It was 3 by 20 minutes at tempo, and I finished it. And then I got up the next day and I went and did 36k on hills, and felt progressively better as time went on, and it was lovely. And then I started to get a real pull in my, I think it was my post tib, underneath my soleus, and then it's kind of moved around to my perineal, and I've been using ChatGPT a lot to diagnose exactly what is wrong with me, probably every hour or so.
And what is Dr. ChatGPT telling you?
Well, obviously very positive, because I've
Yeah.
told it has to talk to me in a positive way. So,
Yeah.
so it's pretty good. I haven't run at all for a week now, which has been very hard. So I joined the local gym. I've been on the elliptical. I've been doing quite decent strength sessions daily for the last week, and typical me form. Just if I'm injured, then I'll go do something else to get that energy out, and the release that I need from some sort of exercise. But today I've actually woken up and it's feeling a lot better. And I have a physio appointment this afternoon, so I am. This might be an exclusive. This might be my return to running and in time for Sydney, because hopefully I'm going to get back to Perth in time to catch my flight to Sydney next week. So
beautiful. Fingers crossed for you. So, I mean, before picking up, this injury, what was the confidence like leading into it? And if you were to put in any time goals, what were those time goals?
Yeah, so I think originally I'd set myself a goal of getting a PB, which my PB currently is 320, just over 320. I don't think I would have gotten a PB though. I just think that it's too hilly a course, and to be honest, I've just really enjoyed the training, and I just wanted to go and run and have a great time at a major marathon. And it's been like, I ran London 10 years ago, and I haven't run a big marathon since then. So I was just super excited about going and being part of a big day with lots of big names, and the first time that it's been a major, and being part of the Wolves group. We've got a big group going over to run. So I wasn't too fussed about time. I was thinking maybe 3:30 would be really nice if I could run 3:30, but to be honest, I wouldn't be too bothered if it was slower. And now, as things have kind of unfolded the last few weeks, and I've ended up here in the UK, and also carrying a bit of an injury, I just want to go and run it and be able to finish it and be able to carry on training afterwards, because as I've spoken about before, I just love running. It gives me so much joy, and it really is a coping mechanism. So I don't really care that much about the race, other than to be part of something, and just really want to run.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, so, your A goal would be, 3:30 bus with Kurtz, but really, it's really just enjoying the experience, right?
Yeah, that's it. If I can get there, and not pick up a bigger injury during it, that will be a massive achievement at this stage. So that's the main thing.
Yeah, beautiful. So you are in the UK at the moment. Obviously, that's been a bit of a distraction in your running, and probably not the holiday that nothing planned from a holiday point of view, but is everything okay in terms of your personal life?
Yeah, I was actually meant to be. So August is my 10-year anniversary in Australia, and I was meant to be flying to Bali to celebrate, randomly going to Bali to celebrate my 10-year anniversary in Australia. And my mum was waiting for some medical results, and unfortunately she received the news that she had cancer of the esophagus on the Wednesday before the Thursday that I was due to fly to Bali. So I cancelled my flight to Bali and flew to the UK instead. And so I've been here ever since. That's probably coming up to 3 weeks now. But we're in a lot better position than we were then. So it's obviously not great news. But we've got lots and lots of support. We've got a great team from the NHS that are working with her, and got a treatment plan in place. So I'm just waiting this week to get some final results, and then we will know what our next steps are. And so I'm hoping I'll be able to fly back to Perth at the end of this week. And then I will be coming back once she'll go through some treatment, some chemo, radiotherapy, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, an operation. She's like the toughest person ever, and so she's, I think, and she's incredibly fit, and she's like going to the oncologist. So I just want to get back on my bike, and I just want to get back in the pool. And I'm like, Mum, chill out. So it's like, maybe just eat some good food and go for a walk.
That's where you get it from, Vicky.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's where the genes are coming from, right?
I know, yeah. So anyway, so she's doing a lot better than she was 3 weeks ago, and we are. I think we've made quite a good team over the last little while. But I think like what it does do is it gives you perspective, and just like running, I was going out and I was enjoying my runs because it was something I could do, and be here and just be able to kind of just use that as a bit of a release. But it makes you think, gosh, I'm so lucky to be able to run, and God, I've got a niggle in my calf, things could be a lot worse. That'll get better. The most important thing is that she gets better and she's well. So that's the focus at the moment.
And I think, there's something to it in terms of, family and life stresses. And, you do wonder whether or not you overcooked it slightly with the training and the stresses of life, going to the UK. So maybe there is something about it there.
100%. I was absolutely exhausted, and I was just ticking off my runs because I needed it. And I knew I should have stopped on that run, and I didn't. And I kicking myself, like I should have just pulled up when I knew that I wasn't running well and I was carrying a bit of fatigue. But you live and learn. And as I said, things could be a lot worse, and I will recover and I will be fine. And I'm sure that Sydney will be fine, or it won't be fine, whatever. But life goes on, hopefully. So, yeah.
And it'll be a party anyway. So
It will. It will.
Do we have any plans in terms of after party for the Wolves Run Club, or is that still a topic of conversation in the lead up?
There's an after party plan. I think we got a rooftop bar booked somewhere. Although I think there's only 20 seats, so it's first in, best dressed on that one.
Okay.
Although the stairs to the rooftop might be a bit of trouble, but we'll see how we go.
Yeah, it's always bloody stairs post a marathon, isn't it? Which is ridiculous.
Going up's generally not that bad. Coming down might be.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you just stay there. I feel like Gold Coast, the Team Tina crew, also had drinks in a rooftop bar, and I think they stayed there knowing that they were going to have to go down the stairs at some point, and that was a rough ride downstairs. But yeah, okay, that sounds good. And Vicky, you've been part of the Wolves Run Club for quite some time, so it seems like there's been an increase in, I guess, the size of the group, but in particular, the women that have joined the Wolves Run Club as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's really good, actually. Probably in the last, what would you say, Kurt? Like 4 months or so?
Yeah, 4 or 5 months, yeah.
Yeah. We've managed to, or Keith has managed to, somehow do a brilliant job of recruitment, and we've got a few really great girls now that are super regular. They come down every Saturday, definitely more regular than I am at the moment. And it's just, I've always really enjoyed hanging out with the group, even though it was kind of predominantly male skewed, and there was kind of a group of about 4 of us that were very, very frequent girls that would show up every week, and we're kind of the OGs and get on really well. But it's been lovely to welcome some new girls into the midst, and show them how inclusive the group is. And I think there's no, that it's not a kind of a male female thing. We're all in it together, and everyone's lovely, friendly. I think you've got people that have got big goals, people that have got just want to walk and just want to get back into running, or just want to get some fitness back, or whatever it might be. And so it's a really inclusive group, and obviously, as Kurt mentioned, the underlying ethos of the group is really all about mental health and having a chat and feeling like you've got somebody there to either, whether it's 50 messages a day, or just tapping in on a Saturday, or looking at the leaderboard on a weekly basis and making sure that everyone knows you're on top. Not that I've ever done that, but yeah, it's whatever you want it to be. But it's a really great group.
Beautiful. I'm well aware that Hayley Bonham is in the Wolves Run Club chat. So yeah, Hayley,
one of our newest recruits.
Yeah, Hayley and I went together. And she does have what's her background? I guess she's a bit of a trail runner. She's a bit of a backyard type of person.
Mm-hmm.
So has she convinced any of you guys to do any crazy races beyond Sydney Marathon?
I was pretty adamant that I must confess, I think trail running is mental.
Oh yeah,
Like we were going, like obviously you were doing it on the weekend. It's like, what are you doing? Why make it's already hard enough? Why are you making it even harder? Um, and I would extend that to backyard ultras. I think that's mental as well. Um, however, having said, and I was very firm on my stance on this in the group. However, I did attend Herdies last year to support one of the guys who signed up last minute, very underprepared, but he did quite well, um, and realised how insane that event is.
yeah.
That event is off the chain. I could not believe how just the vibe of the place and the people, and seeing people start each lap. That was cool. So there are some things in the works for the group. I think we maybe touched on it. You guys have touched on it on the pod before. I think we've roped you in, Simon.
Yep.
There will be a group Herdies. I think it's actually a fundraiser, so we're planning to go pretty big, pretty hard on it next year. So yeah, we've been tempted outside of our comfort zone of the roads, but
and Vicky, I know Herdies holds a very special place in your heart, but are you in for Herdies 2026, perhaps?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
26 laps for 2026, of course.
26.
I thought the commitment was only 15.
You very boldly said one podcast, Simon, that 100k would be pretty easy. So
did I say that?
Well, I may be embellishing a little bit, okay. But you said you think you could do 100, so
I reckon I could do. And I'm hoping Hayley is fit enough to do it, because if she's doing it, then she's not crewing for me, because I know that she's said to me that if she's crewing for me, she's going to make me do 24. So fingers crossed she's fit enough to do backyard at Herdies.
Crewing won't be a problem, mate. Come join the Wolves party. There's gonna be a crew there. Don't worry.
Sounds good. All right. Well, let's move into results. So we'll start with the crazy event that is Transcend. That was on Saturday. So that was it's a point to point. It's from Wellyunga National Park that goes all the way through to Cobbleppool in Morangup. So there's a couple of different distances there. We'll start with what was originally the 65k, but due to a particular creek crossing that remained dangerous in the lead up to Transcend, the guys at Transcend diverted the course of leg 2 to increase the distance by another 2k. So it ended up being a 67k race. So we'll go through the results there. So in the women's race, we had Christie Laurie taking out the win in 7 hours and 41 minutes. Coming second is Sydney's Lauren Marshall, and she's under 24, so she was a young gun, coming second in 8 hours, 10 minutes. Rumour has it she ran that in road shoes, stacked it a couple of times and still came second, so unbelievable effort, Lauren. And coming third was Andrea Laurie, so one of the sisters from the Laurie clan, in 8 hours and 15 minutes. In the men's race, that was taken out by Mikey Dimuantes, who was the favourite for the 65k race in 6 hours and 7 minutes. Ben Leeson coming second, in very close behind, in 6 hours and 9 minutes. And Federico Crevara in 6 hours and 45. So we'll move on to the team relays. That was taken out by Western Nomads. So that was a men's team made up of Riley, Aldo, Liam, Lachlan, and Joseph in 6 hours 50. So that was pretty quick by the guys there. Coming second was a mixed team, Smiles for Miles, with Kelly, Amy, Evan, Matt, and Adrian in 7 hours 12. And coming third was an all-women's group called Roped In, Jerry, Jess, Ciara, Anna, and Steph in a time of 7 hours and 26. Team Warp came close fourth, just a minute behind, but we came second in the mixed relay, so we were pretty happy with that. In the 40k solo in the women's, that was taken out by Maluka Bancroft in 4 hours 29. Coming second was Elizabeth Gaddy, and coming third was Anna Macy. In the men's race, that was taken out by Jack Valentine in 3 hours 41. Coming second was Will Clifton, and Milan Couture came third. In the 28k solo, in the women's race, that was taken out by a name we say almost every week, Petra Georgian. It was actually good to finally know what Petra looks like after saying her name week in, week out for the last year. So she got the job done in 2 hours 43. She actually won the race overall. So yeah, awesome effort, Petra. Coming second was Marta Mazzetto, and coming third was Annalie Martinovic in third place. In the men's race, that was taken out by someone who I think I butchered his name first time around, but I'll do my best to say his name right. So it was Michael Edgar in a time of 2 hours 47. We'll mention his name again in the Weapons of War because I think there was a secret for him in terms of getting the win, just ahead of Joseph Murphy in 2 hours 47 and Augustin de Wizicki in 2 hours 53. And then finally in the 6K, Levi Quinton took out the win in 21:44, so that was a very swift time in the 6K. Evie Garrett taking out the women's 6K race in 31 minutes 20. More importantly, we had the Team Warp versus Team Crap. So, Team Crap was made up of Joel Lambert, who I believe was their trail specialist. We had Hayden McGregor, who wasn't their trail specialist, but he took care of the second leg against me. Coach Mako, who was very confident in schooling Team Warp. We had Sarah Denford for leg 4, and then we had Jack Crago rounding out the team there. So I'd say arguably not really Team Crap. It was probably more Team Double more than anything, plus Haydo. And then we've got Team Warp. So we had Chris taking on the first leg. I had the joy of dealing with the potential river crossing. We had Ashley Ritson on the third leg, which is kind of, I think they call it the stairs. There's like heaps of stairs and up and down. Crazy leg there. We had Rochelle taking on the fourth leg, and we had the young gun in Dane Sproxton to bring it all home for us. So what happened was Chris and Joel started the race off. I think Team Crap were pretty confident that Joel was going to school Chris. Turns out Chris actually took the lead for the most part, and then unfortunately made the wrong turn. I think Chris was saying that there was like an uphill, went to the top of the hill, and then like gunned it down the hill and was loving life and felt amazing, only to realize that the top of the hill you actually make a left turn. So he actually gunned the downhill for a good 300 meters, only to realize that no one followed him. And I think there was a guy that followed him, and it was just them two. So he had to turn around.
Oh, that's the worst, when you follow someone who's gone the wrong way.
Yeah. So Chris had a shit time at that moment, but then was able to claw his way back to only be, I think, just under 2 minutes behind. And then at the transition, so Hayden came out firing straight away, and I tried to chase him down, and it didn't take me too long. So it was an aggressive, a pretty technical start to leg 2. And then once it kind of settled and it was a flat stretch, I was able to send it a little bit, overtake Haydo, and try and make as much of a lead as possible. I think what ended up happening was I created a 45-minute lead, which was pretty decent. So we had a couple of some steep climbs in leg 2. Like there were sections where within a K it was like 140 meters of climbing. So not much running to be had, and that was where I was worried that Haydo was going to catch up. But in the downhills, I kind of tried to send it without stacking it, and was able to get through okay. The mudslide wasn't as scary as people made out to be, so that was cool. I was able to get down the mudslide pretty quickly. Thankfully, didn't have to cross the creek. So the creek was flowing pretty aggressively. So the diversion was you continued an extra K down, crossed an actual bridge. So if only I knew that last week, I would have done that. and then climbed, a pretty hectic climb, and then it kind of flattened out a bit. So so it was pretty cool. Got that done in an hour 44, and I think Hato got his leg done in 2 hours 37. There was a lot of shit talking from Coach Macca, sort of pre-leg, about how he'd be able to close the gap on us, and set a course record like for his leg. There was some big talk there from Coach Macca, but little did he realize that Rito is an absolute unit. She did UTMB while breastfeeding. She was one of the original Cape to Cape FKT holders.
Wow.
So she's a bit of a mountain goat. So so as you can see from her leg, she did the leg in an hour 16. And Macca did claw back 6 minutes, but not enough. So we were the first. I think the men's relay team were well ahead, but we were the first mixed team, and we were the second team to sort of get to the third aid station. And then so Sarah Denford of Crap was up against her coach Rochelle. So that ended up being, a slowish leg of 2 hours. And then, we had Dane to take it home for us. So, so Jack Crager, I think, ended up winning the King of the Mountain, which is part of the fifth leg. But as you could see from Dane's time, he was only a minute behind in terms of how fast he ran the leg. And
he's just a young guy as well, right?
Yeah, I can't remember his age. He's like 14.
Yeah, it's about 14,
really
I think.
Impressive.
Yeah.
And
wow.
He's nuts. He's nuts. Have you met him, Vici?
I've seen him a few times at Hurdy's. He was at Hurdy's this year, the 24 hours, I think. So I was there. I was volunteering, taking the times down at 24 hours. I've chatted to his mum actually as well. I think I bumped into him when I was collecting my race bib for Hurdy's last year, and his mum was in the shop and she was chatting to me and telling me about what they were doing. I'm so impressed with those times. They're awesome. Like all of them. Dane and Jack, Crago being so close
and going head to head.
And Ashley as well. Like that time is incredible. 1:16.
She looked to chill at the changeover.
Yeah.
So it looked like she wasn't even trying. But it was a very quick time by Ashley there. Dane absolutely rinsed himself. So he was like just took his top off and was trying to drench himself with water. Like he absolutely rinsed himself. And I don't know if you've seen the finishing shoot of Transcend, but the finishing line is on top of a hill. And so you basically have to climb a hill to the finish line. So
I saw some videos of it. It looks pretty gnarly.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. Like you're pretty cooked by then. And Dane absolutely did a killer job. You know what? Like I think we met Dane for the first time on Saturday, and we met his mum for the first time because we had been chatting in the WhatsApp group, and they're the sweetest people ever. It was pretty sweet because we weren't expecting Dane to show up at any of the legs. Like we thought he'd just be the fifth leg, but he was actually at the start. So a 14-year-old waking up early, getting to the start line at 5 o'clock in the morning for a 6 a.m. start, and it was funny because he just like tapped us on the shoulder and was starting to give Chris and I tips about how to run our legs. And
what a legend.
Yeah, absolute legend. I think at the time we were thinking, who is this kid? Like giving us tips. Like the guy is like a third of our age. But so he was giving us tips, and he just loved this shit. And then he was there at the third aid station. So as I was finishing my second leg, he was like cheering me on, and he was actually running with me towards the transition. And he was sort of everywhere. And turned out he actually stayed to the end until the awards ceremony. So like he just absolutely loves trail running, and we got to know Dane a bit more, and know his mum Amanda a bit more, and just Dane's story in terms of why he runs is actually pretty inspirational. So we're actually looking to get Dane on the pod at some time in the future to tell his story. But remarkable young man, and I know he gets a lot of shit in terms of being this young boy doing some crazy races, but just his reasons why he runs is pretty inspirational. So it was like a big, great end to the day, and just getting to know Dane and Amanda is pretty wicked. But more importantly, we smashed Team Crap. We got the job done. I think we won by 30 something minutes, 38 minutes.
Don't pretend like you don't know. You know what.
We beat them by 38 minutes. But that's a big day. Yeah, sorry, Vicky.
Simon, did you love it? Are you absolutely now a trail runner?
I might do Transcend again next year. Yes, it's probably. I don't know. I don't know whether or not I can handle a 65k race with 3,000 meters of elevation. But it was so much fun. I think we're going to do another team walk next year at Transcend. I don't think Chris has told his wife yet while he's on the plane with the family, but I believe he's locked in for 65Ks next year. So
awesome.
So he's definitely in.
Yeah.
Maddie, if you're listening to this, apologies. But we loved it. Like, absolutely loved it. The views were breathtaking. Shane and Mitch do an amazing, incredible job with Transcend. Like, just the sheer logistics of the event is remarkable. Just having all those aid stations set up, and it's point to point, right? So Younger National Park, and the finishing line is like just so far away in terms of distance, and it's actually so hard to get from one aid station to another. So the guys that are involved in that race is just a remarkable effort. So I'll do it again. Like, I'm back next year. I think Chris and I were even talking about a Road to Transcend training series for next year. So that's how much we liked it.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think the way to get into it is like team events as well.
Oh, for sure.
I think if you're on the fence, to do a team event and to actually do what Dane did and show up at the start line and then come to the different changeovers, it's not like you can't help but have fun with that. I think that doing a team event and not showing up is kind of, obviously different people's circumstances means it can make it hard, but it is a really, really sociable, fun day out do that.
Yeah, we did it at Ultra Perth. We had a few different teams, and it was just it's the most fun I've ever had running as part of a team, because you're there. All those fears you have of your own race day, I thought were less, because you're thinking about the group, the whole. It was awesome. I would encourage anyone to do that.
So are we locking in a Wolves Run Club for Transcend next year, perhaps?
Well, don't look at me, but I'm sure Vicky and a few of those mountain goats will get a team together, no problem.
Yeah,
Vicky.
Yeah, why not? I actually almost was in for this year, and I went to see Shane a few weeks ago actually to sort out my hamstring, and he was like, "Oh yeah, so you've got Transcend coming up, leg fight," and I was like, "No, I'm not doing it anymore," because after that run that we did, and you missed it actually, but the one that was at Kalamunda. It was so technical. I was like, no, that's not for me 2 weeks before Sydney. So I backed out of the team. But I would give it a go for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. No, I loved it. Will I do laps of Bold Park? Probably not. But definitely maybe a couple of trail races next year. That's for sure. So I've probably gotten over my hill allergy. Finally, just needed to do 700 meters of elevation and sorted right out. But no, it was an awesome event, and looking forward to next year's edition. All right, we'll move on to the marathon club, the Cyril Norman at Lake Gwelup. We've got some results there. I'll hand it over to you, Kurt.
So in the 10K, in the men's, we had Liam Dardengo take it out in 32:45, Liam Fury in 34:20, and Justin Kelly in 36 flat. And then in the women's, we had Samantha Dent in 39:14, followed by Annika Godwin with 47:30, and Freya Walsh in 48:01. Then in the 5K, I'm going to butcher this one. Oliver Kanuki in 17:10. Sorry, Oliver.
That's all right.
Thomas Chapman in 17:34, and Drew Langford in 17:55. And then for the women's, we had Catherine Lynn in 18:39, Olivia Hildebrandt in 19:09, and Samantha Dykman in 21:20.
Wicked.
Good races.
Yeah. Have you guys done Cyril Norman at all? Yep.
No, I haven't done that one. No.
Yeah, I did it last year, I think. Yeah, I was volunteering and they were like, "Do you want to run?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, okay." So I jumped in and did it just as a training run. It was nice.
Yeah, it's kind of, so it's like 2 laps for the 10K, right? And it's a weird, I think there's like a weird uphill at a certain point in time, and you're kind of running on grass and footpaths, and so it's probably not the fastest, but definitely a nice place to go for a run there in the middle of the year, and it's usually perfect conditions as well, like at this time of year in Perth. So really nice there. All right, we'll move on to the Christmas Island Marathon. Now, we actually don't have any of the results for the Christmas Island Marathon, but it is a marathon that is close to Chris's heart. The only thing we know is Brian Lip, who does a fucking million marathons in a given year. He found himself doing this marathon, coming second in, I think, in a time of 3:38. So Brian, let us know if everything's going well with you. I think he's probably got another marathon lined up this weekend as well. Looking forward.
Short taper into Sydney.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. He is got a taper into Sydney. Oh, he's definitely doing Sydney. Definitely, for sure. All right, we'll move on to the Larapinta, Vicky.
Yeah, the Larapinta stage race. So it isn't still governed here, still going. It's finished, I think, or certainly from what I've seen, who I've seen on Strava, they've finished. So it's a 4-day, 4-stage trail race starting from Alice Springs. My understanding it's a very technical trail. It looks amazing. The photos are incredible. So there's a short course and a long course. The short course is 83k with 2.6k of elevation, and the long course is 128k with 3,300 meters of elevation. Pretty big. I don't have access to the results, unfortunately, but I do know a couple of people that have done it, and have finished. So Lauren Bultitude-Paul, good friend of mine, I'm going to give her a shout out. So she was 6th female and 3rd in her age category. And she'd had a pretty tough few days of taping her ankles up, then getting some suspected shin splints, and managed to, though amazingly, pull through and finish in a time of 18 hours and 34 minutes today. So awesome job, Lauren. And then also Lynn O'Driscoll, she came 4th in her age category in a time of 19 hours, 35 minutes. It looks like a good one. One for you next year, maybe, Simon.
Yeah, I'm just the thought of a short course being 83 Ks over 4 days. It sounds like a bloody shit time.
That's a no from me, dog.
Yeah. I mean, would you rather like one shit day of running or 4 days worth of running, I guess, is probably the bigger question. What would you prefer, Kurt?
Oh, nah, get it over and done with. Give me the 1 day, I reckon.
Yeah. What about yourself, Vicky? Are you a fan of these sort of multi-stage day type races, or more get it all done in 1 day?
Yeah, I haven't ever done one, I don't think, but I would definitely give it a go. I like doing hard things, so yeah, I'd give it a crack.
Definitely. All right, sounds good. All right, well, we've got some upcoming events there, Vicky. Did you want to take us through some of those events over the next month?
I can, yes. So we've got the Trailblaze Fun Run. There's a run put on by Soul Runners and a good friend of the show and of myself and the Yellow group, Charles Bosveld. He organises that one. So Saturday the 23rd of August, so this Saturday coming up in Wollongong Regional Park, there is a 5K, a 6.5K or an 11K to choose from. We've then got Perth 32K, which is a marathon club event. That is on this Sunday, the 24th of August, 32K and a 10K. City to Surf is next weekend on the 31st of August. I think there's still entries going for that one. So 4K and a 12K. And then at the same day, we've got Sydney as well, which we have talked about at length. So that's going to be an exciting one. And I know loads of people from Perth going over to that one. Light Horse Ultra is also coming up on Saturday, the 6th of September to Sunday, the 7th, in near Joondalup, Wollongong Regional Park. There's a 3-hour, a 6-hour, a 12-hour and a 24-hour to choose from. And then finally on the Sunday, the 7th of September, is the Women's Classic Fun Run, which is at the WAMC Club Rooms, and there's a 5 and a 10K.
Sounds good. I mean, it's the following week after Sydney Marathon, but I imagine Light Horse Ultra would be good training for Herdies, right? Just get a 24-hour race out of the way.
Yeah, just knock it out. No stress. 100 Ks, no worries. 24 hours maybe.
And then taper for 6 months before for Herdies next year. And what else was I going to say? Do you guys get like a shit ton of messages from the City to Surf?
Oh my God,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah. Like it feels like it's bloody every day. Like I don't know how much. Maybe you know, Vicky, like working in race organizing. How much would it cost to do that sort of stuff in terms of messaging?
How much is too much? No, we've been monitoring their socials, their emails quite closely. It's a lot. Yeah. It doesn't. I mean, the emails probably don't cost them anything, but there's a lot of advertising that they've put behind it this year. I don't know whether maybe the Sydney being on the same day has perhaps taken quite a lot of runners away from Perth that day, or whether their prices have gone up year on year. I don't know whether that's perhaps put some people off, but I think City to Surf's a great event. I loved it when I did it last year and in the past as well. So I don't know. I don't know why, considering HBF sold out pretty early on, I'm not quite sure why they have not had the same response. So don't know.
Do you reckon it's because they took out like the half and marathon options? Because that used to be a thing in previous years, right?
Yeah, it was a much bigger event. My understanding is, and just from experience with Run for a Reason through HBF, the costs of the road closures and all of that side of the logistics is incredibly costly now. So I think that was one of the reasons why they perhaps changed the format of the event. But I actually quite like it being just the two distances, and they've tried to make it really family friendly, and they've got a big finish line festival last year. The Oval, there was like a whole fairground set up and lots of stuff going on. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's kind of whether they've increased their numbers this year and they've ended up with higher prices to enter. I don't know. But,
we shall see.
Open for entry.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's move on. Well, let's finish things off with Weapons of Warp. So we've got a couple of nominations there. So we'll probably ignore Aaron Young's Instagram reel. We'll leave that out for this week. But we talked about Michael Edgar, who won the 28K Transcend event on Saturday. Now, I think he won by less than a minute from second place. And we were actually there at the finishing line as he was finishing his race. And he proudly spoke to Chris and I about how he got the job done. And he said, look, he had shitty stomach issues throughout the whole race, and he was being overtaken by everyone, and realized that all he needed to do was fart. and he basically farted his way to the win. And I say win and not wind, but he got the job done. He was very proud of his efforts, and congrats, Michael, for getting the job done there.
Good for you, Michael.
Yeah,
let it all out, brother.
Let it all out, and thankfully there wasn't any. It was all gas and nothing more than that. But the next weapon we had was a person that was nominated by Coach Matt Maguire, so the OG Warp Post. So we've got Braeden Pantling, who's also doing Sydney in a couple of weeks' time. He ran a marathon yesterday as part of his long run. He was only meant to do 2 hours 30 through Kings Park, so a pretty spicy long run there, and felt good. Decided to do another lap to make it 3 hours, and he ended up running a marathon in 3 hours and 20 something seconds. He's a weapon for a couple of reasons. He not only has he run his race 2 weeks prior to his actual race, his elapsed time was actually 3:05, but humbly bragged to his coach Matt that he almost did sub 3. So no, so not on whatsoever. But look, Braeden, I hope you're okay. Hopefully you're recovering well, and best of luck for Sydney. Hopefully you haven't run your race yesterday through Kings Park. We had Colin Dismuke, who ran the 67K Transcend event on Saturday. We saw at the finishing line that he ran the entire race in Adidas Adios Pros, so just plain super shoes. So I have no idea how you've done that, Colin, but considering that you've been a weapon of war before, I think a month ago he ran 50 Ks on a treadmill as part of a training run for Transcend. The guy's mental, so congrats, Colin, for getting the job.
I really want Colin to write in and tell us how his legs are feeling after that. I just can't imagine.
Yeah. Those shoes are quite soft as well. I can't imagine that they're good on the trails. But good work, Colin. Yeah,
but what was it must have been painful for Colin. So he ran, he finished the race. He was pretty stoked with his effort, and I think it must have been his kids that were running with him, like in the finishing chute. So that was really cute. But like one of his kids, unfortunately, had a bit of a fall, so he actually had to go back down the hill to pick the kid up and then run back up the hill. So that might have been pretty rough going for Colin, but hopefully you're recovering well, Colin.
It looks like his Strava title is everyone has a plan until they roll their ankle at 5K into a race. Which I'm not surprised about.
Not at all. So rolling your ankle 5Ks in, and then running another 60Ks in Adios Pros in a pretty technical race is just mind-blowing. So kudos to you, Colin. We had Nick Bamford, who was one of the camera runners for Transcend, and was following the lead women's runner in Christie Laurie. Turns out he forgot his actual shoes for the race, so he was wearing Ugg boots and ended up chasing Christie for 12Ks in Ugg boots. Hopefully his feet and legs are okay. And then finally, we mentioned it already, but Dane and Amanda are absolute weapons. Obviously Dane just loving this stuff. And you could really tell that he just loves trail running and being amongst the running community. So we had to give a special shout out to Dane. Anything from you guys in terms of potential weapons in the last week, or maybe even the last couple of months as you were training for Sydney?
No real weapons. I just want to shout out everyone who attended our long runs for the Sydney Marathon. It was an awesome partnership that we're really privileged to have, and we were really taken back with. I did not expect so many people to turn up. It was a bit of a shock. So I just want to shout out everyone who attended those runs and wish everyone a really great race next week.
Beautiful. Excellent. Anything from you, Vicky, in terms of potential weapons?
I have nothing to add because I think they were all so good. But yeah, just echoing Kurt, I think that it's been really good to run with lots of people from around Perth that will be over in Sydney in a couple of weeks over those Wolf Run clubs that we've done. And yeah, just nice to meet some different people and just everyone showing up and getting involved. And we've been able to kind of expand the reach of the group as well as a result of that. So that's been really nice.
Beautiful. Excellent. Well, we'll wrap it there. Kurt, thanks for joining us, mate. All the best for Sydney, and hopefully the Maranoia treats you well, and hopefully a 3:28 come the 31st of August.
Thank you, mate.
Vici, thank you for joining us again. And are we seeing you next week? Are you flying back, or are you back in Perth by then?
I might be on a plane, so we need to talk.
We will see who our next guest host is next week. But no, thank you for joining us, Vici. And if I don't talk to you, all the best for Sydney as well.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No worries. All right, we'll wrap it up there. You can reach us on Instagram at WARunningPod. Our email address is warunningpodcast@gmail.com. And our Strava group is Warp. Thanks for joining us this week on Warp, and we'll see you next week. Catch you guys. What do you mean you're on a plane?
Yeah, we need to talk.
You need to find someone to be the replacement guest host. Who are you thinking?
I think Kurt did a good job.
True.
I'll come back.
Okay, I'll see you next week.
That